Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Sanctuary. Week 3 is almost in the book. We just got Monday Night Football to go. But of course, that means it is Dynasty Risers and Fallers time. I'm back. I've got 5 Risers, 5 Fallers. Whose Dynasty value is changing the most? You can see on the screen, we're going to start positive this week. We're going to go with the Risers. Up top, Sam Laporta. How can he not be a Riser? Another phenomenal performance. He was number 2 in target share at the position so far this year at 22.7%. He's number 2 in targets overall. He is tight end 2 on the season. He is a top 8 dynasty tight end for me. I think, look, I'm the first person that says tight ends start slow. We've got to be careful not to invest too much in them too early because young tight ends normally disappoint. This guy is breaking records through 3 weeks. Most tight ends for a rookie at the most receptions at the tight end position for a rookie. He's been incredible. He's a top 8 dynasty tight end for me. And honestly, if he keeps continuing to go the way he has been, he could easily get into that. You know, Kyle Pitts, George Kittle, Pat Freiermuth. You know, he's in the tier with them at the moment, but he could easily jump ahead of all of those guys and get in the Kelsey Mark Andrews world. The second big riser, Tank Dell. You know I'm a big Tank Dell fan. You know I loved him coming out. Everybody else is slagging off the size, the concern. Look, he's just producing. He led the Texans in targets yet again. He's got an 18.3% target share on the season. This guy just consistently gets open. He is, you moved around. The Texans have done an incredible job at basically getting him free releases, whether it be from motions, whether it be from stacking him, lining him up in the slot. He's not having to face any of these physical corners because he's getting those free release. And the most exciting thing about Tank Dell? There's still room to grow. He's only getting 60.7% of the snaps at the moment. That could easily increase. We've seen, yes, Nico Collins is looking like a star. Robert Woods is in because he's the best blocker of the receiver room. But if Tank Dell can become maybe an 80% snap player, his dynasty value is going to go through the roof. So, yeah, Tank Dell climbing the ranks at the moment. Zack Moss. I don't particularly love Zack Moss, the player. I didn't coming out. I didn't when he was with the Bills. I don't particularly love the player, but he's a volley producer. He's averaging 24 rush attempts and 3.5 targets a game at the moment. How many players are getting 27 touches per game? It is absolutely wild. He's averaging 88.7% opportunity share, 126 scrimmage yards per game. The guy's just producing. And yes, potentially Jonathan Taylor's going to be back in a week or two. But what if the Colts decide to trade him? We've heard rumors that the price has dropped. They're now considered less than a first round pick. If Jonathan Taylor is traded over the next 2 weeks, then Zack Moss becomes an immediate Dynasty League winner. You can probably go and get him for, you've probably got to pay a second right now, but could you move another piece plus a third? Could you move a couple of thirds? That's the kind of guy that you can go and get, plug in as your RB2, and he could easily carry you to a title down the stretch. The next guy, another height weight concern, another guy that the team are using in interesting ways to basically use the assets that he's got, and that's Devon Achane, not Achane, as he's now been asked to speak. The most exciting thing was, yes, he had blew up in a massive way. Anyone who watched that Dolphins game cannot be impressed. But I was so impressed at the way that they were consistently using him. It wasn't a case of, we're going to use him as a traditional running back, running between the tackles. We might get him a little bit out in space. Almost every single touch was get him in a good, advantageous position. They got him on the edge. They got him in the passing game. He had 18 carries on Sunday. Only 3 crossed the line of scrimmage between the tackles. They were getting him outside the tackles in space where, he's getting that open field one-on-one with slower defenders. And when you're running a 4-3 and you're getting in space, you know that you're going to the house. So, yeah, really excited about what Achane can be over the coming weeks and months. Jake Ferguson rounds out the 5 Risers. Second week on the trot that he's found himself in here. He's the second target on Dallas. We had this conversation all off season. Who's it going to be? Michael Gallup, Brandon Cooks? Well, the answer is Jake Ferguson. 18.2% target share. He's tight end 10 on the season. But the most exciting thing is he leads the league in red zone targets. He's got 8 red zone targets through 3 games. The next highest is 5. It is absolutely wild the way that he's using. Dak Prescott seems to like him. And yeah, I'm really excited about what Jake Ferguson can be moving forward into the rest of this season and beyond. I think he's a young tight end that you can probably still go and get because he's not had that massive blow-up week where he scored a whole host of points. Time to be negative. Time to start some Fallers, shall we say. And look, I'm a Jets fan. I'm a long-suffering Jets fan. But Zach Wilson, he was on last week, and I sort of said I was done. I think his dynasty value's gone, but he was still a starting quarterback. Well, he is now officially done. Okay, as a dynasty asset, as a starting quarterback, whatever, he's gone. I think the Jets maybe give him one more start, but I don't expect anything to happen after that. I think he's now in a position where normally a first round drafted quarterback hangs around in the league as a backup. Blaine Gabbert's still a backup quarterback somewhere. I don't think Zach Wilson's going to be that guy. I think he's going to go the Josh Rosen route where he's probably going to fall out the league when the Jets move on from him after this season. So I think as a dynasty asset, look, he's a starting quarterback and I wouldn't pay a third for him right now, which shows you how little I value him right now. The other one, now this might surprise some people, Russell Wilson. Obviously, the Broncos got absolutely embarrassed on Sunday. Russell Wilson didn't have that bad a game. I think, anytime a team's conceding 70 points, the argument is that it's probably the defense that were embarrassed rather than the quarterback. But Sean Payton's come in place. He's 0-3. Something has got to change in Denver. Sean Payton's not just going to sit there and play out the year and see where they're at. Something's going to change. And for me, the most obvious person who's going to be the fall guy is Russell Wilson. He's not playing well. They've got Jarrett Stidham. Now, Jarrett Stidham may not be a superstar, but they paid him decent money. 2 years, 10 million, 5 million guaranteed. That's decent money for playing backup quarterback. If Russell Wilson was released at the end of the season as a post-June 1st, it would only accelerate $17 million onto the cap. It's not nice. We're talking $39 million cap hit, 35.4 next year. But it's sunk cost. That money's gone. They're paying him that anyway. Why not accelerate it? You have a bad year, and Sean Payton can really build this thing the way Sean Payton wants to do, not tied to a quarterback with an albatross of a contract. So, yeah, I don't think his production has dropped. I don't think his value has necessarily dropped now, but this is me thinking I don't think Russell Wilson is going to be a starting quarterback in probably 18 months' time. This is almost a bit like the Justin Fields conversation we had 2 weeks ago. I would rather get out of this quarterback before the drop comes. So, yeah, Russell Wilson, his dynasty value is starting to drop. I don't think he's a top 24 dynasty quarterback right now. The next guy, man, this hurts to do this, but Jahan Dotson, I was a massive fan of him coming out as a rookie. I loved what he did last year. Yes, he was very touchdown dependent, but I thought that there was going to be an increase in volume. Well, through 3 weeks, no Washington player has over a 17.5% target share. Jahan Dotson is the wide receiver 72. Yes, 72 in scoring. And he hasn't put up a top 36 weeks. He is absolutely killing me, and I'm sure he's probably killing your fantasy lineup. His dynasty value's dropped. I'd still pay a first for him. I still believe in the talent. I still believe that this Washington offense is going to turn it around. But, Sam Howell, he's currently averaging minus 0.3 EPA per drop back. So, yeah, something needs to change there. Maybe we get, a couple more weeks of bad Sam Howell. I think it could be Jacoby Brissett time. And if that happens, then I think Jahan Dotson's value is going to skyrocket. So, yeah, maybe it's a, wait another week or two, and then maybe you can look at buying low on Jahan Dotson. I'd certainly buy if anyone's willing to sell him for a second right now. The next guy, number 4 on the list, as you can see right there, Derrick Henry. Look, I was shocked, but it is a genuine timeshare now. Derrick Henry, 53.4% of snaps. He's not seen under 62% for the last 4 years. He's averaging 13.6 weighted opportunities per game this year. That's down from 16.6 over each of the last 3 years. And I've got a question for you. Derrick Henry, could he be traded this season? The Titans are 1-2. We know that they've invested in a young quarterback. I don't know if Mike Vrabel's someone that will tank, but could we see this entire team turn over and become slightly more youth-focused? Tyjae Spears is there. He's producing. I wonder if they could look at maybe trading Derrick Henry and bringing somebody else, through underneath, bring Tyjae Spears in. Could they trade Derrick Henry to the Cleveland Browns or the Baltimore Ravens, someone like that that's had that big running back injury? Derrick Henry could almost be that mercenary, that gun for hire, go to a contending team, see if he can get that title. I don't know if I can guarantee Derrick Henry is on the Titans in 2 months' time. So, yeah, his dynasty value is falling because at the moment he's in a timeshare. The final guy, Alexander Mattison. Look, I'll admit I wasn't a big fan of Mattison coming into season. I'm quite happy with my take on that. But I sat here last week and I said, I don't buy into the Akers trade. Look at the price. It was basically nothing. I think this is still Alexander Mattison's backfield. I'll take a big L on that. I think now this Akers trade is something. Mattison's averaging 16.6 weighted opportunities per game, but is only averaging 11.9 fantasy points. He has got the lowest Duke rate out of 66 qualifying players at 2%. To put that into English for you, he has forced one missed tackle on 50 touches. That is insane. That is so bad. It shows that he is basically getting what is given and falling down at the first tackle. I think, quite frankly, a poor referee's decision in terms of turning that fumble back to him, saying that forward progress was stopped on Sunday, is what's, potentially hidden an impressive fantasy line. I don't know that Alexander Mattison is going to be a bell cow back that he's been through 3 games for the rest of the season. So, yeah, his dynasty value is falling for me, and I'm very concerned about him once Cam Akers is up to speed. Those are my 5 risers. Those are my 5 fallers. Who do you disagree with? Let us know in the comments below. If you're here and you've not hit that thumbs up, come on, do us a solid, do us a favor, and also hit that subscribe while you're there. But we'll be back later in the week. We've got plenty more content coming your way.